Okay, here we go. Hey Thomas, Mehmet, good to see you both. Right, so this is to motivate me more than anything else. Because I had a fun weekend, I published a side project, but always, Carlos, good to see you. Anurag, hello. Always, I think, you have sort of ups and downs, and so everything feels, this is exciting, let's see what's happening. But even quite normal things the day after can feel like, it's not quite as exciting as it was. So, bugs. Let's squash some bugs. That's always good. So let's see what we can do. Let's pick this one. Hey, good to see you. Nice to see you join. Okay, this is interesting. Yes, I started looking at this the other day. I think I might even have some sample code if I fire that up in my Nuxt project. I do, thank goodness. Okay, so I have got some, yes, I was halfway through doing this before I started streaming on Friday. And excellent. Okay, I think there's a couple things we can solve here. So we have a few outstanding issues with inline styles. Now, Nuxt will do something that it used to be able to do in Nuxt 2, and it does some of this in Nuxt 3 as well. And that is, it extracts inline styles for the components that are rendered and puts them in the page so that you don't have to download a separate CSS file. We currently don't support that with Webpack because of Webpack limitations. And but we have these two issues. So one, there's a specificity issue. And I think this is basically the same one. So the specificity is that if you have a, let's see, let's reproduce this locally. So if you produce some CSS, normally, for example, if you have some global CSS in your app, actually Nuxt will add this last in as a style block, which means it will override. Whereas almost always your global CSS needs to be the first kind of CSS in your style sheet, and then things become more specific after that. Like an individual component might override that. And I think this is basically the same thing. So when I looked at it, we have the inline CSS here, and the order of that is that we have first the blue, and then the red overrides it. And then in the CSS, we first have the red, and then the blue overrides it. So it's coming in the opposite way. And we basically need to resolve this so the behavior is the same and you don't get a flash. I think I've even copied the reproduction here, and so we can actually experience it locally if we run the playground. So, starting Nuxt. And I think there's this sort of flash you can see. That's not great. Now, to be fair, this is a very easy workaround. The issue is that there's sort of two things with the same specificity. And in general, it's bad to have to rely on the order in which a rule is declared. Normally, you should just have a more specific rule. But in this case, I think it is highlighting a genuine different behavior, and we can resolve it. Now, basically, in our Nuxt renderer, we go through, we get some IDs, and then we render the styles that match the IDs, one after the other. So I'm just going to undo the change that I was in the process of making here, and just show what happens. Let's see, we have our inline styles down here. We also have our sort of used modules, so I'll log that as well. Okay. So if we were to start our production server, because this only works in production, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we run, let's just hit that endpoint and see what happens. So we come back with these are the components that ran. We have our Nuxt root component, we have our app component, we have our flashing square component. Now this is the correct order, but the entry is being added manually by us at the end. R1, hello, nice to see you. And that's problematic. And actually the reason we do that is really for for convenience, I guess, because the whether or not we have modules or registered components depends on whether we're using Webpack or whether we're using Vite. So let's see. And so we want to wait until after we've rendered the app to string, and then we add a few more. It's not actually, that's not actually great in this particular case. McPizza, nice to see you. Man of the hour, saving the inbox of the world. So in this case, I think we need to move it sooner. That needs to be what we do, and that is we just need to add the inline styles of our entry point first. So there might be a couple of ways we can do that, but we have to make it work for both Webpack and for Vite. So we can do something like this. I guess there are a couple of different ways of doing it. We could initialize each of them. Like the overhead wouldn't be much. We could add a getter maybe. We could do that. So we could basically just have a sort of modules key. And we could, I wonder what that does. Like let's just see what that does. Does that even work? Does Vue pick it up if we add a modules, and let's just hard code it with hey. Like is that going to work for us? Johan, hello. Right, let's see. If we hit that endpoint, okay, it's fine. Vue does pick it up. So we might be able to make it work like this. We'll just create a new set, and we're expecting that to be a string anyway. What we can do is create a we can create a getter maybe. So we could do something like what's the other one? Registered components. Don't know if that's a terrible thing to do. And then basically this code should work. We can then remove the code that's a bit later on. Here. And now we should have it in the correct order. Let's see. Is that going to be the case? Nope. Cannot set property. Okay, it looks like... Ooh, set property. What is setting it? Let's check this. Okay, we have a Vue bundle renderer. Oh, this is our own code. So we have bundle renderer, and we are doing something with registered components. I see, we're setting it like that. Interesting. Interesting that we are I think we could probably ignore that. We could just do this. It's probably a terrible thing to do. I just want to see if it's going to work. But it's interesting that we definitely do that in our Vue bundle renderer. We probably shouldn't. This orders it in the correct place. Majid, hello. Okay, because it's now entry, Nuxroot, app, and then flashing square. So that's going to preserve the specificity that we want in terms of the order these components are being rendered in. But I think we'll still have a flash. Will we have a flash? No, we won't have a flash. Oh, why? Why are we having the flash before? Because it feels like nothing's really changed in regard to the individual components. Oh. Maybe it's that this was somehow associated with the entry. Let's see what the actual... This would be great if it's as simple as this. I thought it was going to be a little bit more complicated. What's our output? So we have a special dynamic chunk, which is just the styles of the app. And so our entry styles are, yes, that's why our specificity was an issue. Okay, this one change will solve it for us, because actually the flashing square styles here are the scoped ones, the locally scoped ones, which should be added last. Cool. So let's see, is this an acceptable change? Is this an acceptable change that we can make? Well, I guess it's still going to work for Webpack. What's the overhead of adding an extra getter and setter? I think nothing, right? It could even actually support a setter, so it does actually continue to work. And that does also mean that we don't need to worry about having a different one of these. We simply do this. And we can also probably assert that modules is going to be defined. Do we need to do anything else? Yeah, we probably can do a lot of other things. Okay, so we can basically, again, just render the styles. Cool. And that seems like it might be a reasonable solution. Let's try it. Sorry, I'll make it a bit bigger. It's a bit small. Still working nicely. And excellent. Okay, let's give that a try. We will create a new branch. We'll call it fix style entry style order. Fix next. 9 entry styles first before component styles. Cool. And I think we can run, we can push once we have run our fixtures. Oh, let's just, yeah, confirm we're not actually on main. I'm just going through and fixing some bugs. So this conveniently is a PR that seems to, it will fix too. That's ideal. And let's see if there are a few more we could tackle at the same time. This is a feature, although I like it as an idea. This allows us to extract some CSS files rather than inline them for the global CSS basically. So everything that's global, could this be extracted? And actually there is an answer, there is a way to do that. So let's see. I'll just inform them of how to do it. So you can basically say so if, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, I think that is actually probably something that we could directly do. Is stuff working in testing? Yeah, it seems so. Does anyone have a bug you want to solve? So I'm very persuadable. Okay, we're going to save all of it. We're going to stash all of this as testing CSS specificity. Cool. Otherwise, we're going to have a look at some issues here. This is a totally... That's interesting. Hey, Frozen Spirit. Nice to see you. Time appropriate greetings. It is 2:30 in the afternoon where I am. So I am, I've got a cup of tea. I have had my lunch, which was lentil and bacon soup, and I loved it. I love lentil and bacon soup, it's so good. I had lots of spice chili and it's just delicious. So just, yeah, give me a, oh, that's an old one. Some of these are quite old, 2022. Well, I guess that's a good thing. There are not too many new ones, but still. Mate, tell me, fire it away. Do you have a, like, how significant a bug is it? And do you have a, like, a reproduction I can have a look at? Cool. Opened it today, so that'll be probably pending triage. This one. Okay, in a production build, instance of, yes. Yes, this is tricky. Okay, I get the issue. So that we have multiple versions of Zod in this case, and one of them is from your layer, and the other is the parent project. Well, there might be something we can do about it. Okay, there's also another issue that someone's raised on Twitter, which is that what if you have a, and I mentioned this because I think it might be super straightforward. Let's just see. Oh. Next, please. I guess that probably killed the, I want my status bar back. Okay, no, it already pushed it. So I think we can just quickly open this PR. And this one. Okay, this is a bug fix. If you weren't around, nice to see you, Zafar. This is a bug fix that basically ensures we add global styles at first, so they will be can be overridden by any more specific styles coming from components when inlining styles in SSR. And I think I'd love Puya's view on this. He's very busy though. Let's see. Cool. So we've got a PR. And right, let's move on. So we have now a second issue. Someone said that basically if we have a playground running, so we have our playground and we have our console open on the side, and now we kill our server. We start getting this error, connection refused. Now we restart our dev server, and I don't think there's anything broken about that particularly. I think that's fine. I think people understand that. First, there's no server, so it's obviously not going to be able to connect. And then the second is it's starting, so it gives that 503 error, which is just, it means the server isn't available. So it's not, there's no bug. It's just, like, seems fine to me, I think. Okay, what else can we do then? Bugs. So we've just picked up these two. Wait, there's another one. This one. I'm just assigning it to myself so that I can exclude them. Oh, thank you, McPizza. I missed that. So yes, this is Pale Knight Operator, which I really love. Okay, we also have duplication of CSS question. This shouldn't happen for most of your CSS. Like, it shouldn't happen for global CSS. That should be loaded only in one place, but it will happen for individual components because it will be loaded in inlined for SSR requests. But it's possible, for example, that you get an initial request that doesn't have that CSS, so it still needs to be somewhere else in your CSS. So this isn't a bug as such. It's just a limitation. Okay. Good day, Punky. Okay, this is maybe an interesting one to pick. Okay, we have this code, and this is a this seems to be related to a Vue version rather than Nuxt version, interestingly. But anyway, it's a little bit weird. Let's just paste that in. And let's see if we can do some stuff to types to make this resolve, because that could also be quite a quick fix. So at this point, data value is coming in as data test. Data test. Because really the pick should narrow it down. So let's see. In use async data, we have got, I'm going to open this side by side so we can actually see as we change it whether it resolves anything. So at this point we are, how does this work? We pass the response of the original handler, and we then here, this is the data value that comes back. We're picking from the from that, and then our actual response should be picked here. So what I would expect to see is that at this point we have our initial value, which we are passing as the response. It's coming in here, that's the same. Then we have data, but the issue is that pick keys or pick from isn't operating, I guess. So yeah, Carlos is obviously the expert here. Interesting. I bet, okay, here's a guess. Does that work? No. I was wondering if it's, okay. Let's just hard code this. I want to see where the issue is coming from. So we basically have this more complex type, but let's just say it's this. It might be an issue along the way. Is that the issue? Let's just make sure we have everything prepped. Yep, it is getting the key. So it's like it's all the way. It's just this pick from type. I suspect that is the problem. Like that is the thing that doesn't seem to be working. The data key. In this case, it just happens to be test1. Let's just make sure that we are, where is it? Pick keys, no, I don't want that, I want pick from, right? Okay, I'm just going to say it's going to be Bob. So at this point, data value should be Bob. Yeah. Okay, so this is the thing that is doing the work here. So here's a debugging step I often use when I am debugging like complex TypeScripts like this. So you can basically just do this, make them strings. Not that, it's another test. But basically all of the ones that are like end results, you can actually directly make a string, and there we go. And then you can see like where it's failing. So in this case, you can see that it's failing, like the fork that it's picking is pick tk number, which is specifically this bit here. So that is what isn't working. So we can actually debug this by, oh, that's a much nicer idea, Carlos. So like, actually, let's see what it is. Like, what is k number? Because now data value is going to be k number, and k number is data or null. And so what we could do, let's try this. Let's try non-nullable. Does that do anything useful for us? Well, that's interesting. Alex, hello, good to see you. It's saying test doesn't, that's a very unusual. It's very unusual, isn't it? Like, we are, at this point, it's explicitly saying okay, let's give that a go. So we should at this point see we've got A is data, B is data. But the thing is, our error, anyway, like our error is telling us that it's doing pick, that, and data. So in fact, if we just copy out the type that it says that it is, this, and we were to put it in here, so type C is pick that, we would expect that that it needs to have a data prop. That's what it is. That is silly of me not to spot that, right? So the issue is not that the pick, it shouldn't be a pick. It should be, it should be a pick, right? Oh no, this isn't a bug at all. This is correct. Like, oh, this is crazy. It's just, this is complicated. So this is correct because pick doesn't choose only, it just restricts the keys. So we still have data. Of course, this is correct. What it means is that we don't have other keys. So it got us all. It got me, it got Alex, it got the original author here. It's just not a bug. This isn't actually a bug. Pick got us all. Pick doesn't return only that key. Actually, I think the documentation is probably fine. It just restricts the keys of an object to the keys passed in the array. That's why it's an array, not a single string. Cool. Boom. That was good. So always nice to find something that's in the bug. And like, honestly, I was thinking, oh, there's this weird bug. I went through, I did some initial work to look at it, I guess, at some point. It's like, it's reproducible everywhere. Well, it's reproducible because it's not a bug. That is the correct behavior. Let's just check, like, how do we describe it and use async data? We talk about pick. Only pick specified keys in the array. That is fine. Well, I think it's typically, how did it catch us all out? I think it's because you assume that what the person is asking is correct. So the person was like, why does this not have that? And so we just assumed that the thing they wanted was correct. Whereas in fact, we should have actually just, you always have to take a moment and say, is the user right here? Like, is this correct? Because often I've got to confess I don't. Oh, Liren has come. Hello, welcome. You are very welcome. So yes, I should have read the manual. Should have read the manual. Cool. Let's see what is next. Is this still passing? It's passing, excellent. Oh, Alex, you could also have a look at this PR if you fancied doing it. Todd, hello, welcome. So, Todd, while you're here, I have a question for you. Having fun pair programming with me on the side screen. Do you mean, do I still have at some point, is there a live share? No. At some point, let's see, what am I talking about? I wanted, sorry, Todd, this is what I wanted from you. So basically I have this page speed thing. Someone by the way contacted me. They're like, they're amazing. They gave me they said, here's a better design. Oh, perfect. That's exactly the kind of thing I most like at Liren or McPizza. Yeah, is to like have it like it's company, right? But someone said, oh, sorry that somebody says such nasty things about you, about your PageSpeed project. To be fair, the design is terrible. So I was, they then gave me a much better design. It was beautiful. So and it was very kindly meant. But and they might even be here today. But like, what am I wanting? Oh, so I'm wanting to know accessibility best practice. I think it's accessible. So, like we have sort of outlines. I've not disabled any focus styles. I think it's accessible. If it isn't, let me know. But basically, we have so this is a button, for example, because it allows you to change the state. We then have pop-ups, and I implemented them so they display the value, the content of the pop-up when you tab over them, which might not be correct. So Todd, feel free to tell me. But I wanted to have a link inside these pop-ups, these tooltips, but I couldn't find a way of doing that and having native CSS handle it. So I would want to tab to it, then tab into the link, tab on to the next pop-up, and so on. And basically, whenever I would do that, I would lose focus on the thing. So if you have any sort of best practice solution for that, I would love to know it. I'll just show you what I tried. It was this. Oops. So I have, okay, so we have some results, and we have, what are they, Core Web Vitals. And I have these links, which I would like to display because it can explain much more about the metrics than I can in just a few lines of code. So we have the links, and we have the ability here to put a link in place. Why is this not? Anyway. So we have the ability to put a link. But what happens is that the link displays, and obviously it doesn't continue to display when you tab on because you lose focus. And at the moment, the focus here is set by, let's see, where is it visible? Group focus. I could also change it to group focus within, like that. But that doesn't seem to work. So it doesn't, wait, it does now. Have I looked into the native dialog for this purpose? I haven't. But you think it would be a better solution for a tooltip? I think actually the thing that may have fixed this is the fact that we added a tab index to the body. Let's see if we didn't do that. No, it still seems to work. I don't know why this didn't work. Well, that's great. If it works, we just ship it. Add links in Core Web Vital Tooltips. Okay, Todd, so is this implemented correctly? I guess is the main thing. So it displays on hover and focus, and I specifically have it set up that the size of the tooltip is bigger than it appears, so that it will cover you even when you are hovering over. Let's see if I can get the outline here. So I'll simulate a hover state here. Oh no, a hover state on this, I guess. So basically the size of the thing that you can hover over is that big, and it will continue keeping it on page. Well, Johan, do you want to try it out? I think things are good. Like, I think everything is accessible, and things are sort of appropriately so I've used the tooltip role in order to indicate that it is in fact the tooltip, and I have the yes, I am using focus within, but which is working today, and it wasn't working when I last tried it, so I don't know exactly what's changed. So Todd, are you saying it's not? So each of these has an area role tooltip, it has an ID, and the thing that's described by matches it. So I'm expecting that it's good. I'm only responding to Johan, who is asking, well, anyway, let me know if it isn't. In my testing, it was good, but let me know if not. Because that is the whole reason I'm asking for help. Right, okay, we can add the links. I see. Alex is saying, does transform work with a generic type provided? Have you tested it? Let's see if we open that in Nuxt. See if we can get back to our previous version of this. Okay. So we've got, yeah, StackBlitz is terrible for doing type testing because we don't have any types. Okay, so here we have got some data, and let's pass that to use async data here. And does it still work? It does still seem, no, it gives us thing as well, so it doesn't fully narrow the type. And that is basically, I think, because we don't that's probably just because the type is the at what level are people, like, if people are passing in one generic, like, is this meant to be the return of that, or is this meant to be the return of the final value? So the way people should probably do it if they want to pass the generic in is, I think this is probably meant to be something like, so what's the second parameter? So we have the error, then this, that we basically, the keyboard interaction, the tooltip is reachable with the keyboard. So if you type tab, 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 like that feels like the way to go through. It's not a super complex page. I would expect that it would be. You just tab on and the tooltip goes. There's no JavaScript involved in the rendering of the tooltip. It's purely CSS. So I'm not trying to reinvent any. It's just focus or hover. Don't worry, I won't quote you on it, Todd, but I do appreciate your insight. So like in terms of the use async data types, it's so typically, I guess, let's see. I think what you would want to do is say something like this. Johan, that would be great. Yeah, the problem is when you are using transform, the best thing when you are using transform is not to try and type the generic, but to try and actual type the actual function. So because you can do stuff like so the whole idea is that the return value of this flows through into this, and then the return value of this is the type of data. And like if you can actually do stuff like type data and say like it will be this, and that will then enable things to flow through properly for you. So if this is returning something unknown, for example, which is often why people want to pass the generic, then you can actually just promise unknown, I guess. Then you can actually sort of handle what the return type is going to be. It's going to look like that. There would be a few more any's in there. Okay, more bugs. I mean the generic argument. Okay, can't use dependencies in Nuxlet. So Alex, feel free to raise another issue if there is something to fix. It sounds like there is. Okay, so what is the reproduction? Okay, so there's the third. Yeah, the main, I think these are two separate issues. So it shouldn't be outside of node modules here. As in, it should now be part of Nux modules with the latest layer implementation. Let's see if we can get a reproduction. This is very similar to another issue I was looking at a few moments ago about layers. Okay. What am I thinking on this one? So let's see if I can get this to reproduce. So what is this? Digest in layer reproduction. Okay, oops. Okay, so we have, oh, well, I mean, this will be the case because this is using a, this is a layer that doesn't even exist in the same monorepo context. Okay, but still, let's install it. So we've got Nuxt there, we have Nuxt there. Let's just update our dependencies. Oh, it's meant to be yarn lock file, but we'll ignore that. Oh, I see this. They want me to pack it. Okay, we'll install it. Okay, now let's run the dev server. Yeah. Okay, so the issue here is not that it is in a different project, it's that it's not optimized because it is a dependency of the layer. And so Alex, I actually have, so I actually have it here. These are my settings. This is what I use. The thing that I lost was not any content, it was my comments. So basically what I do is I have these comments here and I basically use them as markers to determine what to like hide and what not to hide. So I didn't actually realize that. I didn't realize that everything was still there. But the other thing is, and someone told me, so I lost these comments from my VS Code. But if you look at show synced data, you can actually have a look at like specifically every backup of your settings. And then you can actually have a look and browse it. And so that was how I was able to recover it. So I didn't have any issues. And I don't see a need to back it up separately. This seems to be extremely useful in terms of that. I can even go back to 3 years ago in terms of settings. So feels really, really helpful. Okay, is this going to do it if I start the server again? As in, will Vite have optimized it now? I think this is, basically, this seems to me, this is just a Vite issue. Pretty sure that is what it is. Yeah. Okay. So messes up production builds. Let's see. Seems fine. So I think that that might have been fixed since the original issue. So this one, my next layer. Oh, I see, the parent is the... Okay, this doesn't seem like an issue. So the question, I guess, here... Oh, hey! Thank you. And bye, Todd. Sorry, I missed you. Missed your goodbye, but have fun. And yeah, that's really kind. Joaquin definitely deserves it. Okay, so why this is required? So I guess the question is, should we do anything for Nux layers? Because we probably could force add all these things to the optimized steps, but it feels like it's better for the user to be in control here. Hey, Elsie boy, and Alpen, nice to see you too. Interesting. Maybe we could do it. So what if instead we said this? What if instead we had that. Or better, the example they actually give, which is all of the view files. That might be a better solution, right? Because that most closely matches what's actually happening. So if we did something like we did something like this. So let's solve it. Let's see. Oh no, don't do that. I can always help write the test. Like, that's totally okay. No, it doesn't. This doesn't solve it. Okay, where is the actual code that uses it? Show toast. Oh, that's not that helpful because it's not. It should be able to work, right? Okay, let's try that again. No. And also that's a bit dangerous because it might wrongly pull up the, let's see. Okay, this is interesting. Our main entry point is that, which actually we don't want that to be optimized. We do want the layer to be optimized. What if I just directly use app.view and, oh no, it's not the, I've got my heads around the wrong way. It's not just that the view files, it's also the TypeScript files. So it would be something like that. But like we obviously need to add some more code because I think this would be generated a bit differently. Okay, let's try this one more time. Yeah. Okay, that does seem... No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Why not? It should be pulling in util. Do we just optimize the... Specifically, it's util.ts is what it is. So... Let me just check that this isn't an issue with, what's it, a playground, .playground, node modules, cache. Let's try that one more time. Interesting. Util. Okay, that's not going to work then. We need to try, let's just try this again. Thank you, Alex. Let me know. Alex is just clearly the master of creating great YouTube videos, but I'm dipping my toe in the water with just like the odd little thing. So I just created a new video a few minutes ago, which interesting. Okay, can't find them. That might be package.json related, I guess. So we have the Minux layer. If I have a look in Playground Node Modules Minux layer, it has just this utils folder. And it's not loading for some reason. I wonder why it didn't give me an error again, but it isn't transforming it. I'm going to try doing this. As in, because we could pass absolute path to all of the module files, which might resolve it. So if we just did this, I think we do link to at least one of Alex's videos, but we really should link to more of them. Like, they are phenomenal. So yeah, PR welcome. Oops. Okay, that's clearly not going to work, I guess. Yeah. Okay, verdict. Why does this not work? So, like, I feel like we should be able to run this. Right, that should work. Why can't it resolve it? Does it need to be enabled? Are we on the wrong version of 4.4? Yes, Alex, I would love it. I think your videos should be littered through the docs. Okay, this is frustrating. Very frustrating. So why can't we? I wonder if the problem is the package JSON, like if it's how the layer package JSON is constructed. So maybe that's why it's not working in this case. So if I have a look at our package, and we also just add a step that will recreate it. So we'll do pnpm pack, and yeah, let's do that. And then in here, we will, let's just try this one more time, pnpm pack. It's going to produce this, and then we copy that into our dependency, and so it should be this. Okay, so let's try, oh, and it also should be next 10.1, right? And 10.1, cool. Let's try this one more time. That explains why this might not be working, because it might have a very old Vite version in the project. So let's see if this helps. Okay, that's not working. It's also, though, not... Is it giving us an error? No, it's not. What if we did that? And the same with our view file as well. No. Let's see. Just to be clear, I guess Sweet Alert 2 will always work as a solution. So restart that and it should just be fine. I am really looking forward to reading Alex's thesis, I will say. It's a lot of pressure, absolutely. Okay, so reload, and that's fine. That's just a StackBlitz DevTools complaint. It's working fine, right? It's working. Okay, if we don't do that, if we just say and I'll try one more. I'll try this and the You're welcome anytime. Thank you, Owen. And Daniel, hello. Nice to see you here. Right, I have a feeling that I need a cup of tea. That's my feeling, while this runs in the background. So no one go away, or do if you want to, but I'll be back in 5 minutes. Oh, that's very cool. I want to know more. I want to know more. Tell me more. But I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. Okay, I am back. Whoa, I'm big. Let's make me small again. Okay, so I actually am very excited about this because I've gotten something in the post, which is this. And I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It is. This is very cool. I'm not sure we can actually share this, but this is from Stackblitz. It is a t-shirt that is self-compilable. So the t-shirt code, which is there, contains the code to I think. So I basically managed to nab one of them and I feel extremely pleased with myself. They were very kind. It was really for people who were interested in exploring Stackblitz as a team offering. And I was like, so tell me more about the team offerings of Stackblitz. And they said, now, are you really interested in the team offerings of Stackblitz? Or are you interested in the t-shirt? I said, I'm interested in the t-shirt. They sent me one, which was very kind of them. Hey Chris, nice to see you. Where are we even? So basically, so, okay, let's see if we can change the package exports and see if that makes a difference. So if we have exports and we have, say if we just did this, does that do anything for us? Right. Okay, I think we still just have to put our I will have a look, Daniel. Let me know. Feel free to ping me as well. This is really interesting. It's clearly working. It's clearly scanning it, but it's not. And people say the alias works, so it must be that it is scanning one version of SweetAlert, but maybe not the other. Let's actually, why didn't I do this from the start? Let's just enable DevTools. Okay. Where are my DevTools? Maybe not supported in the playground. Let's download this. Thank you. I never imagined that Knux 3 changing its module resolution would affect Knux composition API for Knux 2. But thank you, that looks fine. It looks good. Let's get that released. Interesting. This isn't your bug. This is just probably that our CI workflow is still running a very old version of Node. So let's just update that. That's very kind. Yeah, no, it would be nice to see you there. Whiskey aside. Let's see. We'll just have to wait in the background. That test suite takes its time. Okay, come on, DevTools. Why are there no DevTools? Why are there no DevTools? Oh, right. We decided I would clone it locally. So here it is. Not that. Or that. But this one. Okay. Okay, localhost, here we come. Oh, DevTools are probably not displaying because we have this bug. Let's try just enabling them. We should see DevTools, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so I want to see particularly what is happening with the deps. So we're going to open inspect and just check. I want to check. So Showtoast is being imported, I guess, from util, which is being transformed with that. And it seems to be the problem that it's not then transforming SweetAlert further. So, okay, so that's the issue. So it's not, this doesn't really do much. What if we said, what if we restricted it like this? Would that still work? Thank you. I am not responsible, but it's, people often say thank you for them, but it's Anthony Fu, absolutely, who is the master of the dev tools. That seems to be working. So but that doesn't. Question, does this work? It also seems to work. This doesn't work. So I'm trying to see if there's something we can do to make life easier for people. Like, is there something we're doing wrong or could be doing better here? So we're importing util. Let's just have a look at what's inside there. Here. So that is, okay, it's doing a CJS import from there, and this is what is working. What happens when we don't do it? Well, obviously we can't even load. Let's see if I can figure out another way of doing it. That should be able to load, I guess. No? It is optimizing it. Okay, maybe this is different from what I thought. So it is optimizing it. We have an optimized tag, a version. Actually, it's not optimizing it. And it's coming in here. This will probably be related to this. It's a immediately executed function. Is it to do with the? I wonder if it's to do with a particular version of the file. So let's see what our SweetAlert version is. So we have main browser module, so it's all the same thing actually. Yeah. But I'm trying to find out like why I guess it would be fine if we had Sweet Alert installed in our project. Let's try that. I'm guessing this will work. It doesn't. What happens if I have an idea? What happens if, let's see what is here. Haha. Yes, so it does have to, basically now it's fine because Vite is knows to optimize it. So can I instead point Vite to scan something? What about basically the issue is this is source material. This is a source file. For some reason, Vite doesn't want to treat it as a source file because it's in node modules. So it's not processing it in the same way. I don't want to force optimize it because actually it's only needs to be optimized when it's actually used. So I wonder if there's something in that Vite code I can have a look at. Okay. So I'm looking here for like what is happening in the optimized steps stream. And we have node modules, I guess. We need to know if we can. Oh, this is the node version of it. We also need, this is what we want, I think. Okay, question is, does it do this on demand or does it only scan for them? It scans for them. Okay. What's going on here? This should be running on node 18. Ends with is not a function. That's very strange. Is this the case in the main branch? Weird. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that again in a moment. Okay, so basically we have, oops. We have our our layer. I'm wondering somehow. Sirach has not been released for a very long time. So, because basically I've deprecated it in favor of unbuild, and I ported across all the nice features of Sirach to unbuild. It has not been updated, so there should be no change with Sirach. So okay, so we could create like a link and load layers from links. Doesn't feel great. We don't want to add the entry point because that is going to load the Nux config file, which we don't want to optimize. We do want to load any dependencies that are used in these files. Oh, let's try that. So maybe if we add both these and this, it will resolve something. So in other words, we're saying scan these entry point files and optimize this further dependency. No, that doesn't work. Feels strange. Okay, what are you thinking, Aussie boy, in terms of whitelisting them? What do you mean by that? So this works if we specify it. So this is fine. That works. This works. This works. But what I'm trying to avoid is manually specifying them. Or reading the package JSON file. Like, so, I mean, so one option would be we read package JSON of layer and add alias for all deps. We could do that somehow. Option 2 is we manually. I don't think, like, I don't want to specify them as Nuxt here, because just because something is a dependency of the layer doesn't mean it should be optimized or that it should be in the client build. It might be a module dependency. The layer could easily add this themselves to optimized apps if they want to be consumed. So they wouldn't necessarily have to. If they are doing this, the question is just, so the option is a layer can add this themselves, that would work fine. My only question is, can we make it simpler and do it automatically? So like this, maybe try a single asterisk. Let's try that. I feel this is as close. This has a prospect of being right because okay, we can add a plugin. Let's do this. This may be why it doesn't work. So we'll do something like name is test, and we're going to handle resolve ID. Okay. And only if okay, let's try that. So this should... Oh, why is that not doing anything? That should, at the very least, be printing something. Let's enforce pre, run it early on in the process. Okay, there we go. Why is SweetAlert being okay? SweetAlert is being imported here, and let's see. This is probably not where we solve it, by the way, because the optimized app scanner is running separately, I guess. I wonder what the optimized apps exclude is by default. We can try that. Resolve, config resolved. Okay, just have a look at the full resolved. We've got include, we have exclude, we have entries, yes build, and options. Interesting. Let's just try that. Nope. Okay, here's another idea. What if we do this? Instead of loading it there, I'm just going to hard code the entry point here. No. What does it want to have back? It wants to have external. Let's just see what it does end up coming back with. Ooh. Hey, hello. Sorry, this is boring for everybody. I'm getting lost in my thoughts. Interesting. So just the actual resolve call here is enough, weirdly. Just check that. To make it work. Because it registers it, I guess, for optimized apps, which is probably the safest way of doing it. So basically all calls, what we could do is resolve them from the root directory. That's a maybe reasonable solution. So basically it would look something like this. So Nuxt, we'll just use add Vite plugin, and we will copy this up. Okay, so we're turning this into the beginning of a solution. So we have a Vite plugin, and what we do is we say if Nuxt options layers sum layer.cwd includes importer, or the other way around. I guess that. Then we're going to resolve the thing. And log it just so we know what's going on. And we also need to actually filter them, I guess. Cool. And that does it. That is looking like a reasonable solution. What do folk think? So it basically forces layer dependencies to be resolved. They might not succeed. So actually we can add a catch. It's fine if they don't. But if they do, they'll be optimized. It's an improvement. So we would do welcome back. Okay, so works. Just works. Is there a disadvantage to this in any way? We did have a break. We had a break. Okay, I'm going to make this into a PR. And let's see. Okay, so we basically have not feet. Let's open Nuxt. And we probably only need this for... Do we need this for the client? The server as well. We also optimize apps on the server. Okay, so basically let's try adding this the Vite level and basically just doing this is schema. Basically doing this. Oh, let's check. If we get rid of this, does it work when we build it? I'm guessing it would, right? Yeah, it works fine. So this is only a dev mode improvement, or only needed to be an improvement in dev mode. So basically what we're saying here is trigger Vite to optimize any dependencies that are imported within a layer, just as if. Okay. Would you ask why Nuxt leaks styles from an SSR iframe to the parent? Would you explain what you mean by that? You mean, yeah, would you explain what you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. This PR makes a okay. This PR makes it triggers a resolve call to, what did I say here? when importing dependencies into layers to trigger Vite to optimize any dependencies. Just there we go. And I will ask for Anthony to have a look, but again, cool. Cool. Well, that would be a nice one to solve. If you would be happy to have a look, for example, Alex, that would be amazing. Let me see if I can have a look at the iframe issue very quickly, but again, I do almost need to go. So I don't, yeah, this is, I think Alex's point here. I'm not convinced this is a bug. This is like Nuxt isn't doing anything here. I'm not sure this should be reopened, but I'll have a look. So we have 2 pages. Now by default, I don't think it's leaking from the iframe. I think it's just in your CSS, I think is what it is. So but basically, when you build your app, so when you build your app, you have different pages, and this has some CSS in here. Once we build it, we have output, public, and we have some CSS files here. So let's check. We have, well, it looks like we have this bundle split. Let's start our server. Okay. I'm not sure this reproduction is working. See you later, Aussie boy. As in, there should probably be an iframe in here, right? So it should be something like this. Iframe, source, iframe. Okay. So that, I guess. Okay. So what is the issue? Seems fine. Yep, make a new repro. I mean, this is basically when built. So it might be that it does this in dev mode, which would be maybe something to do with how Vite adds the CSS. But also, regardless of a reproduction, I very much doubt it is a Nuxt issue. So this won't be a Nuxt issue. The style isn't leaking out. This will just be to do, exactly, it will be to do with preloading the CSS. So I think basically the source iframe Nuxt probably preloads the CSS, or maybe even Vite preloads the CSS for it. I don't think it is, it might be the, this plugin. not that plugin, dev this. So it might be something to do with this, for example, where we specifically pull out. No, I don't think it's anything to do with this. But basically, it might be to do with preloading. I don't think it's to do with, it's not a Nuxt bug. But I'm happy to have a look if you create an issue with a reproduction. Note that this is just dev mode. In production, this works fine because it's not preloaded. Okay, I must go. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for joining me. And I will catch you all another time. Let's see if there's anyone we can go raid today. Todd! Let's do some accessibility stuff and go join Todd. Whoa. Why can't I? Let me try that once more. Cool. Next time, Alex. Next time, absolutely. Okay, again, thank you everyone, and absolutely see you later. Bye.